Well, some people might remember this generator. Did a little video on it a while ago. So this is that 4-cylinder Wisconsin on the Kohler generator set. 10 kilowatt, 3-phase, 12208, 4-wire. Just finally got around to doing something with it this past weekend. It's Monday evening now. I'm still fooling with it. Got her running on gasoline. It's got the natural gas regulator still on it, but I don't have a natural gas supply, at least one that I can easily tap into to run this. Luckily, if you remember, it had a carburetor, an untouched carburetor, sitting right there with a natural gas adapter for it, which that could be. That's just a 1/4-inch pipe fitting near the throat of the carburetor, easily plug. So unfortunately, being it was sitting outside all that time, managed to fill the carburetor up with water, but not so bad that I couldn't clean it out without too much difficulty. Just lucky that just the style of the engine, the design, the water can collect in the carburetor bowl being the lowest point and not overflow into the manifolds, because you have to, has to physically raise quite a few inches higher up to drop down the intake into the cylinders. So that was good. Yeah, just working on the generator end now. Like I said, I had it running and had some voltage issues. Yeah, like I said, it's a 3-phase, 4-wire, 12208 volt generator set. Started up, got it running. It's 1800 RPM set, and I was having some low voltage issues with it. Line to neutral, I was reading about 100 volts, and line to line, I was only reading about 200. So I cleaned the slip rings as best I could with the bearing support and the brush gear still mounted, but I couldn't get to the commutator, which is the back. You can see for the field there. That's really tarnished, and you can see where the brushes were grinding into it when I had it running without cleaning it, which probably wasn't a very good idea. But I still need to go over the slip rings again. I'm hoping that'll correct the low voltage issues. I'm thinking that it will. This good generator has absolutely no electronics in it, and the control box. Just there's a couple current transducer coils, just so that small panel amp meter will work. Nothing really. There's a charging circuit in it for the batteries. It cranks through the generator. I think I mentioned that before. But no real issues with it. Nothing really that can go wrong. The windings look in great condition, which I would expect. Typically, you don't really see these things that blow up, as far as electrical shorts or faults. It's just usually either lack of maintenance or engine trouble, especially on these old 4-pole units. You can look at the size of those coils. This is only 10 kilowatt, and that's just a massive assembly there. Really well built, but it is, it's a Kohler, so that's what I would expect. Something I've seen before, but I'm not quite sure what their purpose is. These little capacitors here. Right here. There's 4 there. There's 2 out here. I didn't really trace or look real close where they went, but they appear to go to these 2 go to 2 legs of brushes, and there's 1 for each brush on the commutator. I don't know what they are, if they're just to stabilize the output or what. I don't imagine they do very much. They're tiny. They look more like a condenser even that you'd see in a point system in a magneto or something. It's kind of strange. I've only seen these in Kohler generators, and what's interesting is I have an old Kohler from the 20s, one of the little inline 4-cylinder water-cooled generators, and it's got these little capacitors on it too, from the 20s. Interesting. That's a 6-pole unit, I think. Anyway. But, yeah, I'm hoping that these will, just this little bit of cleaning will correct any issues. As you can see, they'll clean up really easy. I'll zoom in and I like to use Scotch-Brite on these contacts. See, that cleaned it up pretty well so far. It doesn't polish it, which is good. If it was polished smooth, the brushes would have a difficult time wearing back into it, so they get full contact with either the commutator or the slip rings. You know, if they're too rough, they'll wear the brushes out before they wear back in properly. The Scotch-Brite, these little red pads, is good for that. So I'll finish cleaning that back up, and I'll come back when I'm ready to put the bearing end back on, the bearing holder, and the brush gear holder.